So if you notice, he's keeping his articulation very centralized and localized right on in here. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? So listen, this is gonna be a different video for me today. It's gonna be a little different video for me this time around because I don't talk a lot about rappers on this channel. I do talk about rappers, and I'm gonna put some of them in the description box down below, but I don't talk about them enough. But I've always wanted to talk about this verse from Busta Rhymes that he does, and I've always been intrigued by how he approaches this. I'm gonna do my best to try to tell y'all what I think he's doing, so I'm gonna try to do that. Okay, I'm gonna try. So what I'm gonna do, because it's so short, I'm gonna play the whole thing in its entirety first, and then we're gonna go back and kind of stop and start and kind of talk about it a little bit. Okay, so you kind of get the context of the 50-second clip, and then we'll talk about it and break it down a little bit. Okay, so here we go. Let's go.
You really want to know what's next? Let's go! We gotta go to try to keep up with the pace. Juggling the hustle and the set it and get it. If you know we gotta do it, take it to the place. Taste it, and I gotta cut off. Just to be at the top of the door, but I know I gotta have it.
That is so cool, man. Now, I am not no rapper. I'm gonna do my best to break it down, so I'm gonna probably stop and start a little bit. So let's talk about this verse here, because he's doing such a high level vocal delivery. This takes so much skill and vocal control, vocal coordination. And when I say vocal, I just don't mean vocal. I mean vocal, articulatory, phonatory, air, all those things, all these aerodynamic, all these things that matter to the voice, not just the actual vocal folds, but how he's using his vocal apparatus. And all the things that I'm mentioning, air, voice, articulation, all those things, coordination, all of these things are the vocal apparatus. It's not just the voice. It's all the things that work together. So that's why I say vocal control, vocal coordination is top notch right here. So we're gonna start it over and then we're gonna talk about it. Let's go! So if you notice, he's keeping his articulation very centralized and localized right on in here. So he's not doing a lot of this. Everything is kind of right here. Every time I gotta go, I gotta get away, get away, get away, get away. Because with the words being this fast, you want to move your articulators as little as possible, but still get vocal clarity and articulatory clarity in your delivery, right? So you want to have enough movement to where you can get to clarity, but not too much movement where you're kind of losing momentum and time in your delivery. This rap is fast. He says a lot of words in a short amount of time. So the less amount of distance he has to move his articulators, the more he can stay on time, because that movement takes time. Moving your articulators takes duration of time. So you have to think about how much I'm moving my articulators in terms of location and how wide and how far apart I'm making them to ensure that I can stay on time in the beat with the rhythm of the rap delivery. So that's one thing. So if you watch his lips, watch his mouth, everything is right here. Gotta get away, get away, get it. I ain't gonna try to say the words because no. But yeah, everything is right here, and he's really keeping everything localized and centralized in articulation, location, so he can move fast through the flipping of the consonants. Okay? And if you notice, his body's here. So he's not doing, he's keeping that breathing mechanism upright and strong and stabilize. And I'm going slower with my tongue. But you see how my body is still. I'm not, no, because you got to have all of this going on. So the last thing you want to do is overexert yourself anywhere else. And you want to keep that breathing stabilized, because you have to think about your air and how you're breathing and where you're breathing as well, how much you're breathing, when you're breathing, you know, making sure it's on time. All those things are happening simultaneously in this little 50-second verse right here. I love that. Ooh, I love how he looked right there. That's my favorite part. Oh, I love that. Vocal inflection, another part of rapping that people don't really think about. You have to know where you want to put your voice in terms of pitch. I'm talking about pitch inflection, pitch placement, vocal inflection. You know, like so so often my voice goes higher on that part that I'm talking about before. My voice goes higher. I'm changing my pitch. So right there, the part we just listened to. So he started low and brought the pitch up higher. Vocal inflection is another big part of rap delivery, of flow delivery. And I'm not no rapper. I'm just thinking as a vocalist how the color and the pitch of the voice matters in terms of the music itself. It gives color, it gives layers to the music, what you're saying, how you're saying it. So the inflection, the grammar, all those things, the vocal inflection helps us understand what the important parts of the verses are, if you will. So in this case, you know what he just did right there, the pitch went up. He did like a stepwise pitch motion as it went up right there. And another thing to consider is vocal placement in terms of resonance. Everything is kind of centralized, kind of here, if you will. You kind of feel it more in the face. Every time I gotta go, he's not doing, he's not doing all of that. Everything is placed in one spot. And it's consistent the entire time. So yes, I can change my pitch, but I'm not changing where I'm placing my voice or how I'm shaping my vocal tracks. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not doing a lot of like dropping the layers, opening the vocal track, you know, bringing nasality. I'm not doing none of that. He's keeping it in the same spot vocally. He keeps the vocal track shaped the same way. So it helps him to stay more consistent in the sound because he's keeping everything stabilized. But that breath is stabilized, or the breathing muscles I say are stabilized, and the vocal tract is staying in the same spot the entire time. Vocal control. Vocal control. Vocal control. And you notice also he breathes in certain spots, and the breathing has to be on time. So I have to breathe in certain spots with a certain time of the breath, a certain duration of the breath, and a certain meter, and a certain beat. So the metronome matters in terms of the BPM. How fast or slow the song goes influences your breathing pattern. How much you breathe, when you breathe, how you breathe, instead of he has to take in quick breaths to get to this stuff. It's not just, you know, it's, yeah, he has to kind of get it in real quick because he has to get through so many things in such a short amount of time. He has to take breaths where it makes sense physically and musically. So all those things go into this rap. I just wanted to talk about it a little because I just think this rap is just beyond phenomenal. And every time I hear it, I just be like, dang, how you do that? Because I can't move articulators that fast. I can't. I be stuttering. I be, you know. But shout outs to him. BUSTA, shout outs to you. This takes high level skill to deliver something like this each and every time. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed watching it and kind of breaking it down with y'all. And as I will forever say to you, be vocally bold, creative, and aware, but most of all, be vocally you. I love you so much. I'll see you later.